Welcome, welcome. Good morning. All right. So, long story short, um, I was in the Discord and my guy Nigel, was asking if, what are our thoughts on monthly AMD, right? And so, wanted to pop in and do this video really quick, along with the NQ market review, of course, for the week. But basically, I wanted to share with you guys my thoughts on the answer, right? So, wow, I'm smoking this. I really like these chocolate backwoods. These have been my favorite recently, but only reason is because you get bored. I have 40 flavors, but um, I smoke a lot, obviously. But you know, the biggest thing about me, right, is when I'm in the marketplace, my whole thing is about keeping control. I never like feeling like there's something I can't narrate. For example, I want you to start thinking more about not just for profits, but why price is doing what it's doing. And we've talked about AMD on the channel before, so it's not like a newer concept. But what I'm saying is, how are you going to put this into your personal trading plan? How do you use this as a template or ready? And on this channel, a lot of times I tell you guys to um, use what I call a main idea. All right. Now, me personally, bro, I trade like I'm writing a fucking paper. Like, I always have a main idea. I have a supporting thesis, right? And I have supporting ideas. I have confluences. I will tell you who, what, where, when, and why. That's what I'm interested in. And so when we talk about not just PD arrays, not just Goldbach levels, not just a singular concept, where's the fucking lighter, man? I just had it. Oh, got it. But what I'm saying is, I want you to come in and start being able to, not just pop in every fucking day and say, oh, well, what's the bias? Imagine, even though you're just an intraday trader or you are not really a swing trader, you might not hold day to day to day. But my thing is, you could come in the marketplace and understand your bias for days at a time. You do not have to come in and start guessing and reevaluating this thing very deeply every single day. You don't. And why this is an interesting question and why I wanted to bring it up to everybody is because when we talk about, again, supporting ideas is what I meant to say. I don't like being unable to narrate what's slightly near me. Okay. So the biggest thing as we go into like October, right? Now, mind you, October starts here on the Tuesday. All right. Now, which is not bad. Now, if it was like towards like the Thursday or Friday, I would elect to start using like the next week or like, you know what I mean? If this was like the first of the month on like a Thursday or Friday, I would be um looking to start around here. I'd look to start a little later. But since we have a uh October 1st here, and again like on the month, right? Because this is a clear profile. And I've already marked it for you. And people ask me, right? Like, hey, we understand it's only two processes inside of this, right? So AMDX or XAMD. Cool. Perfect. And so sometimes I get the question like, listen, like this is way too. trendy. And this is why a lot of times I tell you guys all the time, I don't trade Mondays very often. I don't trade the first week of the month like that very often unless I'm scalping. The whole Q1 of the year, I'm lighter in positions. I'm not trading as often. Manipulation and distribution are what I'm interested in trading. So what I'm saying is, do you see how I'm not saying you can't catch a good move? You can't, like, this is an easy situation if you're operating day by day. But what I'm saying is, when you're looking at this might cause you to think that this is an X, right? But the thing about this is, when you look at this week and compare it to the last and go forward again, right? Notice how obviously this created a high point, and this right here is nothing but a rebalance of this daily fair value gap. So this is already an intermediate high. Okay. When we pop down here, this is a accumulation. Okay. All this does, and the reason why we know it's an A 7X, is that when it pops down, if this was really, 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 really an X, this would have been a ridiculous move the entire week. Ridiculous move. It would have popped so much off the screen, you would have been like, what the fuck? If it doesn't give you that sort of reaction, I guarantee you it's not an X. I'll put it simple like that. It don't make you feel like that shit is ridiculous? Not an X. And so this is an A because price goes down and comes right back into the range. It takes out all this buy side liquidity here, leaves open these lows for some longer term, and then we go right back over 50% of where we came from. Now that's important. And what do I mean by that? This is obviously like a U shape, and we've talked about algos on this channel. Now, I'm not necessarily looking at this as whatever algo, like 1 or 2. I'm not thinking about that right now. But the shape of this is what I'm referring to. You know, like I said, being a huge V or a U or however you want to put it, um, it's giving you like algo 1 vibes, although I'm not going to check if it's in algo 1, is basically what I'm saying. But what you can clearly see visually, right? Look at how it develops, right? And we're on a 4-hour chart. Let's go down to the 1 hour and look at the same thing. Look, we have one good expansion, and it's because it's a Tuesday, right? Manipulation. So this is a fractal manipulation, of course. Like I said, when you're narrating, it doesn't have to be the craziest narration of all time. You don't have to be like how I'm doing it, explaining things off the 1 minute and can go do this shit all day. No, you could pop down to the hour, 4 hour, and give yourself a perspective on something. Now, I'm gonna get right back to this in 1 second. I need to give you context, all right? I can't not do that. Now, when you get to the daily chart, people ask me this all the time. Turn off your weekend, Saturday, Sunday. And there's another video coming out earlier in the day, today. We're talking more about algos. We're talking more about like my chart setup. And you guys can let me know in the comments. You can like just let me know what your chart setup looks like. And so if you need like, for example, you know, I do it in my Discord. Like there's all the stuff that we use, all the indicators, settings, and things like that, and plus some extras that I will never post on YouTube. There's a bunch of concepts that I love to use, but you will never see them on YouTube. They will be in the Discord only forever. And so when we're still using basic ideas like this, right? This is what I'm talking about. The reason why I marked this as a intermediate high, right? You thought I was going to let that go. Nope. Here. I've shown this gap a few times, okay? Now, when you look at this gap, I've been telling everyone the real draw of liquidity, right? Now, so far, we've watched price come back up into this imbalance multiple times where it's trying to give that reach effect, right? And so what I mean by that is, first time we were going bullish from down here, where do you think the objective was? And I want you to really think about that. Every single time you had how many down candles do you really have in here? Every time you had even a smidge of a down run, back up. A smidge of a down run, back up. It's reaching for something. And you need to be able to see, hey, you know what? We got near it the first time, couldn't make it. Near it the first time, couldn't make it. And I've talked on that before. So when you see something like this, right? And I'm pointing out that we're just, operating week at a time. And so you can have a moment where you're like, you know what? Maybe I am expecting this gap. And now maybe I could take it a step further and say, when can I actually expect this thing? Now let's do it again. So when you pop down, you say weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, cool. Now you see what I'm talking about and why I frame things the way I do. The chart is like a book, and you need to become a reliable narrator. I've said that before. And the reason why we talk on this channel about being a reliable narrator, it opens up what we call selecting and avoiding. And it makes it so much easier because I know so many ICT traders that go and watch his videos, and there's so much stuff to do that you end up doing three things. You're linking concepts together that don't need to be linked together all the time. You're confusing one concept for another because you think one is a singular set of rules, and you're applying those set of rules to another concept. You're listening to certain details of maybe OTE or like how time works. And when something is right outside of that time or something is situational for a session, right? How many times have you seen a setup just like this and you say, hey, I see that this is a wide open imbalance, right? And maybe in your mind, this intermediate high you saw as like buy side liquidity, which we are looking at towards, right? And you tell me, my guy, you think we're really not getting up there? Yeah, no, we're getting there. But what I'm saying is, outside of the current price action, right? And we'll leave that there for a moment. When we're looking at like, why he's asking that question, and it's one of the best questions to ask, is because we need to figure out when we can expect certain things. It's not just about avoiding the marketplace, but understanding the marketplace. This is what leads you into not just success, but not being afraid, not being crippled by analysis paralysis. And what I'm talking about is when you see the first run into the gap, you understand why we drove up there the first time. You get another displacement, fair value gap. This is liable to go sell side now. Yeah. And again, I mean, if you want to, I can give you this too, just because I'm here. This was either a 243 or a what is that? Oh no, I got like a double range on. Okay. I said what? Oh, here. Watch. This is either a 27 or an 81. So either the way you're looking at it right now is like a stop run. That's not really good though. I like accuracy. So here, that's right off the EQ level of a 243. That's not bad. But where is it in reality? And what I'm talking about is we could find this at a real high. Like, I could cheat and do it this way. And I'm not saying it's like a cheat code, but it is a cheat code. The half shift, I would already know that this would be a good area to half shift just from the EQ level. But what I'm talking about is here. If you really wanted that sell move from the imbalance the first time, knowing that you're right on that EQ and you start to reject from it, the daily imbalance is the main star. Your supporting idea is your dealing range. When you see this displacement here, and again, you got this fair value gap and you have trouble getting right back here, it completes the dealing range on your half shift. And again, 243. Okay. But the problem is you can go to a higher dealing range and figure out where it's headed. And you have a lot of sell side liquidity from um, equal lows here. So you already know that would be a hot spot. Hot spot. You even get this one here. But what I'm saying is you're getting better at narrating, also organizing ideas in order. And what I'm talking about is, again, as this starts to come down, right? Even if I'm still in half shift, doesn't matter. It's still going to meet me with levels that I can interact with all the way down. You see what I mean? And look at that now. Clean. Right to your draw liquidity. If you needed to take the sell idea, even though we talk about, hey, damn, this might be buy side liquidity, right? I totally understand your perspective. In the same way that we talk about, like, hey, is this AMD or is it XAMD? This is too trendy of a move on this Tuesday, being a fractal manipulation on the day itself, but on the week, right? I can't expect this liquidity to be taken. And why is that? Because I figured out that by the end of the week, it's an A. And this has a certain function. This is the building of liquidity on both sides. And so I'm just showing you, right, before I move it, make sure you understand. I'm showing you all the evidence that you could have used through dealing ranges to sell this down from this point and all these points here, 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 to target all this liquidity. No problem. And it still wouldn't change my overall bullish bias for um, going higher into the imbalance, number one, and then number two, going right into a accumulation and manipulation, obviously, which is too far too fast, and we're going to talk about that. Okay? But what I'm saying is, yes, the accumulation is not going to conquer a major objective. It's going to give you new liquidity on the buy and sell side, especially on the buy side if we are macro bullish. Does that make sense? But all these points here are trading is time based. If you are seeing this here at this half shift high or whatever, this high here and this EQ giving you all this resistance to come down, and you know that the next available liquidity is here, point to it here and all that. This is available, but not right now. Just not right now. So if you are looking to participate, you can go about it two different ways. And it's up to you to understand your personality. Even though you are an intraday trader, are you going to be still focused on trying to get in every day and capture what you're given for that moment? Or are you being more strategic like I am? And you're saying to yourself, yo, I understand that this is sell side for now, but I understand why I have to look above me going into next week or majority of the month. Because not only is the higher partitions in a discount, but even outside of Goldbach levels, we talking about AMD. The A, right? It's going to be met with a lot of this dumbass consolidation, manipulation, and then what is all this? It does give you the a high of the week, low of the week, for sure. But that doesn't stop this from being super annoying. Look at all these. Super annoying. It doesn't act like it doesn't move. But what I'm saying is you get a consolidation piece here, back down, back into the range, taking nothing but this smaller liquidity going into NFP on the Friday. And so when everybody's like, oh, well, okay, well, imbalance, this is done, we're back down now. No, no, no. This is only going to cause us to have a Monday low, Tuesday low, and then we start to rally again because we have higher Objectives, like I said, it's not going to ignore the daily imbalance and this liquidity. It wants to drive higher. So every chance it gets outside of an accumulation piece, when you enter a manipulation, look at the difference in the expected price action, is what I'm telling you. In the same way that you can look at this like on a week to week basis and understand if you have a draw of liquidity like this, or if you have a draw of liquidity like this, which is clear, like damn near equal highs too. So mind you, the whole week you might have been looking at to try and get up here. It's not going to do it. Even though we have this massive retracement, we still don't reach a major only because it's an accumulation profile. It's going to be responsible for just making new liquidity. So therefore, that's why you see like all this here. That's for you to attack the next week over. This is all for you to attack the next week over. This fills the imbalance, and that's it. That's one singular objective. That's it. This imbalance gets fully filled. Feel what I'm saying? That's it. So when you drive down, and look, these become a long term. All these become long term. The manipulation, look how clean this is, right? When I drive back on my sessions, right, you see exactly what I'm talking about. The manipulation is inching towards our daily objective, which is the imbalance and the draw liquidity from the intermediate high. We got there only the first time. And it seemed like it was like an IOFED, right? Because it was just kind of too quick. It just straight bounced. It didn't really get further into the gap. It didn't go 50%. It didn't go consequent encroachment. We just had a single tap in right down. That was fun. And now when we're talking about this manipulation, right? Yo, the sound on this chair is some kinky shit right now. Like, yo, it's really killing me. Bruh, I need to like it's only because I'm stoned that I can like just hear certain things that like I'm hyper focused on certain sounds. But like um when I see this down here, I'm gonna try not to focus on it. Anyway, let me drink some water, right? I know I threw a lot at you just now. I know that was a lot. Mm. But I want you to know all this is so you can become a better narrator. Do you feel what I'm saying? In my mentorship, I teach something very similar, right? Like I give this base concept everywhere. I mean, I could be at a Starbucks and have this conversation with anybody. But in my mentorship, I'm giving certain keys to organize yourself just like this. And so in my members only section, they have a detailed version of what and what not to do at certain times. We talked on when not to trade according to some of these moves in here. And when we talk about the manipulation and the expected price action, it's too far too fast in general. So that's why you're met with a lot more uh, energetic candles. Your downside is very limited because it's very high resistance. Your buy side is the low resistance liquidity run. It's going to smash highs every chance it gets. And the reason why these got left open is because smart money are some funny people, bro. I laugh at the chart all the time because of this. We know damn well where this motherfucker was going, and why do you think they do this? And if this is AM, what's the rest of the cycle? DX. Pause. So like when you see AM DX, okay, the manipulation is up. A lot of people think distribution has to automatically be back down. Wrong. Wrong. But what you can see, and what I'll say, right, is we're going higher into the gap with distribution for sure. Come back to this video and let me know if I'm wrong in a few days or a few weeks, whatever. And so what I'm saying is you're going to come up here. These get left open for liquidity, right? We have some equal lows down here. So now these are, again, we could focus on these for later, no problem. But what I'm saying is, when you have certain ideas in the marketplace, don't just hyper fixate on it just because this is a daily low. Go to your daily chart, go to your weekly chart, and see what the real objective is. And so, if you're on accumulation, you're not going to expect a major objective to be met. You're going to be more into scalping, playing around with whatever clues you have day to day, and whatever liquidity is offered to you. You see what I'm saying? This is too easy. So let me get rid of this because I'm not looking at that. What I'm saying is when this starts to go down on a Tuesday, London session, New York can't get back above this, right? So London session being the natural high low of the day after midnight, right? And you're met with a easy Monday target. Easy. Where the fuck else you think it's gonna go? And people say, "Oh man, I wish I saw that." I know. And you're still holding the trade after this for no fucking reason. You're thinking this is still downside, so now you're trying to sell this. You lose the money you made here. Now you're breaking even on the week. You're looking for another situation, so now you're trying to get in buys and sells here because you're unsure if it's this or this. You see my point. The whole time, it's a fucking accumulation, and you should probably leave this thing the fuck alone anyway. But what I'm saying is, if you really need to get into the market, bro, just section it out. Goldbach level it out if you need to. And even when you're looking at it like this, right? Let's do this, right? Because I've talked to you about what I wanted to really talk to you about. And so when we come in, we do stuff like this. All right, let's go off the half. Let's go whole, okay, whole shift. All right. Now here, this is what I'm talking about, my guy. You can do this. It's not hard. You can do this. I'm telling you. People tell me that I make trading seem like a video game. ICT concepts are not very difficult. It's the only thing of what I said before. There's so many concepts. He's giving you multiple ways to view the marketplace and letting you decide how you want to view it. But the problem is there's so many things that seem similar and you're thinking so much about um like taking what he says and being in a box with it. You're not taking that data and being more creative. You know what I mean? So when a lot of people say, "Hey, well, like there's liquidity above and below me," but when we talk about draw of liquidity, we're talking about the real objective. He's told you too. Like he told you correctly. Like, hey, the daily chart is what you need to focus on. The big players are operating from a weekly and a daily perspective. And it's not even just the time frame I'm talking about. But what I'm saying is if you're an optimal trade entry trader or you trade Judah swings during Asia or you trade the 2022 model and you like a displacement plus a fair value gap and you're looking for a um certain retracement level for your optimal trade entry. All of these things, right? You're now focused on so much that you're getting analysis paralysis. Instead of coming in and saying, you know what? Let me just figure out where the real lows are and where the real targets are. And so every single time you pop down, look at this. Yeah, you smash a fucking 243, and then you go and smash another one. You feel me? So what's the problem? You tell me you can't operate these? I know the first one might have been a little, ooh, well, because that might not have been the time of day you like to trade. But what I'm saying is when you operate something like this, and you already know what level that is, let me be more specific for you for those in the back who can't see. You guessed it. And the liquidity void, right? And again, right when I started this channel, I don't think I've talked on this before in a little bit, but like in my mentorship, like we have this inside joke like about the liquidity void is like when you really get into whatever daily range that you're intending to use, right? And again, look at the shared highs, my guy. You can't tell me you can't see that. You know damn well it's going to that draw of liquidity. This is telling you multiple power threes are having the same target. Anyway, the liquidity void, right? We call it the Louis Vuitton because you take the Louis Vuitton level, you're gonna be at the Louis Vuitton store no problem in no time, bro. You're gonna have money for that. I love the Louis Vuitton level because it does its job, bro. I've told you before on this channel, large candles only come from one level, not any other place. So however you're viewing this, right? The dealing range under me, I'll show you the same thing. But watch, this big ass candle running all the way to this dealing range high and a little more, liquidity void level. We only are met with these candles from a liquidity void level. It touches this thing to the tick, to the top of the level, and we rally up like a monster. Now, look, like I said, every dealing range has the same format. So that means my bad. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's good. That's good. There we go. Yep. Now, liquidity void, where is it? Here. See? Large runs and large candles start from one level. And this is all my liquidity void when this starts. So your next liquidity void, and is price done? No. You see what I'm saying? Liquidity void, liquidity void. I'm telling you, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are the days you need to pay attention. Do you see how perfect that is? Now, this right here is a market maker buy model, clearly, right? And so when you're looking at it like this, it keeps on going, okay? So for the 243, when you're going through this down moving up, this right here is a clear market maker model. But watch this. People ask me all the time about like where algos start and stop and things like that. But it's actually not very difficult to find. And so when you're looking at this market maker model, what is this? Watch. Let's go to a 30. We're going to pull it up. Is this a market maker model? Now, check this out. Now, when you see certain things on your algo paths, sometimes you'll see small variables, but it's not very different to where you can't see the entire path. So, for example, right? Do you see how you have a rejection block or low area, right? You have consolidation on your, or you come right back into your order block, right? And so when I'm looking for algo 2, it's always going to be the breaker to fair value gap that's going to make me feel more comfortable. That's how you know. Now, this one's a little annoying, so I guarantee you it's fractal. So you can come in, and if you don't find this to be like a clean, like algo 1 or algo 2, or you can't find which one it is, go to another dealing range. I suggest the one like either right above you or right below you, and you can find something, especially 81 for intraday, because that one is fire. Now, me personally, right, I'd be looking at it like this. Now watch this. This is clean, my guy. Go to 15. And this is my whole point. Regardless of the algo, right? Because we saw the market maker model. But when you're seeing something like this, and you see all the support here, once you see this pop in and price starts to rally away from that in a kill zone, my guy, 945. And what is that? Macro at 950? Oh, yeah, you're tripping. Yeah, you need to get in there. And you have all this liquidity available to you. Bro, bro, bro. And how many ticks is that? This is how my students are passing funded challenges in a day. It's not hard, bro. 200 ticks? You tell me you can't get these 150 to 200 ticks here? It's not hard, bro. It's not. It's not. You feel what I'm saying? And it's funny because the only reason why I like make sure like certain people in the Discord like don't do certain things is like, look, funded trader, you know what I mean? Funded trader. It doesn't stop. The whole Discord, whenever they make a small mistake, they get right back on track the moment they do it. And look, Mel goes nuts with this. Ryan goes crazy here. Mel goes nuts. Oh, fins and tails. That's Nigel. He goes nuts here with the buys. She whips this 81. And my only thing is like why I'll start bitching about this is me personally, I'll tell you guys to keep the same bias the same way I told you about that daily imbalance up there. We know that's the real draw of liquidity, so anything on the sell side is going to be high resistance. So when I see people in the Discord or I see somebody tell me, yo, I'm in sells right now, I'm like, yo, that's not a bad idea because you saw the 81's high go all the way down and she completed this entire dealing range down. Straight profit, no problem. Killing it. But we understand that this is the move down, causing you to optimal trade entry to go long. Does that make sense? So yes, she made some profit here, but I'll be like, yo, we need to focus on buys because we understand where it's going. But I'm hyped because again, bro, Discord kills it. We kill it, bro. I love it, bro. Everyone does extremely, extremely well. And you're welcome to join, man. It's up to you. But I totally understand where everyone's like, yo, I don't pay for Discords. Okay. Again, it's totally your choice, man. Dude, where is the. I put the blunt down and don't know where I put it down at. That's crazy. Anyway, I'll tap in with you guys. Okay. And that was fun. Bye.